Friends, I have once again decided to throw my hat into the ring and prepare for another race. The last race that we trained for together, well, it went pretty good and I had a lot of fun doing it, and everyone seemed to enjoy watching the process as well. There are, however, a few notable differences between this race that I'm getting ready for and the one that we did, Paris to Ancaster. Number one being the time to prepare, 18 days, not a long time. And two, it's on one of these, not a gravel bike. I hesitate to call it a downhill race because it's in New Brunswick. It's not like Montreal giant mountain downhill, but it is classified in the copy a downhill race. It's called the Adrenaline Festival at Sugarloaf Mountain, and this video is not sponsored by anybody except spindat.com and the affiliate links below. So if you want to support this effort, go check out the stuff at the links below. It really helps. Now, with only having 18 days to prepare, obviously fitness is probably not going to be something I'm going to be able to improve upon. If I do, it'll be very marginal. I think what I'm going to focus all of my attention on is technique and confidence. It's hotter than I expected here. I'm sort of regretting what I'm wearing. Okay, now that you're up to speed with that, let's discuss the bike. Most of you will be familiar with my trail bike, but for those of you who aren't, it's a steel single pivot frame with 130 millimeters of rear travel. And this one is made with Reynolds 725 chromo tubing. The shock is an X-Fusion O2 Pro 200 by 57, and considering I'm so used to it, I kinda like it. So I still want to try a coil shock on this thing, just waiting for the funds to show up. I have a 140 millimeter travel RockShox Revelation up front, with the branding removed, because I'll just tell people it's a pike. And for wheels, I have a set of 29-inch Elite Enduro carbon rims laced to their hubs, which is nice because I'm really bad for detrimentally denting aluminum rims with the way I ride. And mounted on there is a high output casing Panaracer Romero in the front, and a super tough casing Panaracer Aliso in the rear. Drivetrain on here is a mix of SRAM Eagle GX and NX Mix GX rear derailleur, NX cassette, NX shifter, and a set of Truvative boost cranks. And for right now, I'm trying out some $45 Theory pedals in place of the Spank Uzis that were on here. They're the same size with the same amount of pins. They're just 16 grams lighter and less money. So that's pretty sweet. Shimano Dior 2-piston brakes with 180 millimeter rotors deal with the braking, and a set of BMX ODI long necks deal with the gripping area. We've got a V1 version 1 one-up dropper on here because it's all I could fit, and a Physique saddle with some Poseidon riser bars, and a Cintas 35 millimeter long stem. I really like this bike. This thing's awesome. So my plan for today is pretty simple, pretty similar to the way that we started for the P to A training. I just kind of want to get a bit of a baseline for where I'm at. First try, no warm-ups, we'll be able to kind of see what sort of times I can get, and that should give us an idea of where I'm at, and we can use it as the baseline to see if I improve, say in like 7 days. We'll ride around, make other videos, come back again, try and do the same thing, and see if the times get better. I feel a little ridiculous saying it, but I think I'm actually gonna wear goggles. Do I look cool, or do I look like I'm going swimming? Okay, first run. Believe it or not, I actually do have a bit of an attack plan here. There's a number of trails here that are at least somewhat technical that can be ridden fast. Okay, start. I want to start with one that I'm somewhat familiar with to get started, then one I've never ridden, so completely blind. Next one that I know I can ride pretty quick, and then last, one that I'm loving the most as of late. I'm also doing my best to force myself to ride the climb as painfully slow as possible to not blow up too soon. It is really difficult to hold back on the climb a little bit. I'm so used to just trying to be impressive with speed that I usually blow myself up here. Just taking it easy. All right. So we're gonna go into No Name first. I'm familiar with it, but it is the first run. I'm going to it with a little bit of a flying start, and we'll just see where I end up on the Strava leaderboard. I'm in too easy of a gear, kind of a bad start. Yeah. So I run a pretty stiff suspension setup, which makes the beginning of this particular trail feel pretty rough and slow out of the gate, which I even mentioned here. feels like I'm doing poorly. But once through the initial roots and roughness, I'm sort of able to get into a rhythm and look forward enough through the trail to try and pick some decent lines and carry some respectable speed where I can. I noticed here that I missed a wider, faster line to set up for this corner. Taking the high line. But whatever, I'll just try and remember it for next time, and for now, focus on being confident going over the jumps that I had not really seen on this trail yet. Sweet. This trail just keeps getting better. And in the end, I managed a 2-minute, 26-second run, which puts me 5 seconds off hitting the top 10 on the Strava leaderboards with a 2:21, fastest time being a 2:09. I don't think I'm gonna get there. I'm trying to just be a little bit smart here. Stop at the car after every run. I brought this giant thing of water. I usually don't drink enough water. I think I'm doing a better job of it this time. Have a little snack, go back up the hill really, really slow. I can't believe I drank a whole bottle of water already. Growing up, I guess. Okay, I'm not sure how long the climb is taking. I'm gonna say it's anywhere from 30 minutes to 40 minutes while just really taking it easy. I'm gonna go all the way to the top now to a trail I have never ridden yet. It's called Hillbilly. I think it's like pretty techy, difficult-ish for the area. Blind for me, never done it. We'll see what kind of time I get. I think that's gonna be the best basis for what my baseline is. Little bits of cheddar and onion scone. Put me through. Run number 2, coming up. Goggles and everything. Yeah, that's pretty techy looking. Okay. Seems like people are starting here and just flying into it. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, now where? I feel like I screwed something up. Did I? No, that can't be right. Well, hopefully that segment will restart. I kind of don't know where you're supposed to go. So yeah, first try, no warm-ups, didn't exactly work out here on Hillbilly. Next attempt I think goes a little better. I'm actually just gonna let the whole run play all the way through so I can reference it for next time we come. So yeah, this is kind of the gnarly, like, DH that I was looking for. Those corners that sneak up on you. so blind. Nice. What's on the other side of this? Whoa! Ah, ah, trails merge, okay. Let's see where we're at. And at the trails merge marker, that is the end of the Hillbilly segment on Strava. And I managed a 2-minute 34 descent on this trail, which puts me 2 seconds behind the top 10. Fastest time is 2 minutes and 11 seconds. I don't see myself really getting there, but I am happy to know that even with all the mistakes I made, I'm 2 seconds off the top 10. It's actually pretty surprising, I must admit. I kind of made a lot of mistakes. Maybe something was wrong in the timing of this. My expectations on a time for that run are low. I'm not being too hard on myself. A bunch of things caught me off guard. That was to be expected. First run down, blind, really fun. This bike is just kind of like seems to enjoy the chunder, which I appreciate. Do a little water refill here, a little bit of scone. Such an athlete. I also just want to say the goggles, like the foam in the goggles, keeping the sweat from going to my eyes, best thing ever. Oh, it's raining. Oh no. It started to rain just like a little bit. Sprinkling the way it is now, it'll probably elevate the trail conditions more so than ruin them. It'll be kind of like watering dirt jumps. Kitchen Party. Kitchen Party is one of my favorite and maybe my best performing trails. The newest section of Kitchen Party up at the top, you can kind of charge as hard as you like and carry as much speed as you feel comfortable with, because the berms and the trail will catch you and keep you upright throughout every section, which makes it super fun and fast. My goal here is just to try and stay off the brakes as much as possible, which is so much easier said than done because it does get a little scary. And then once you get down to the original sections of Kitchen Party, I find you have to be really good on the brakes as you go into the corners. The berms aren't quite high enough to keep you upright quite as much at speed, so you got to get your braking right going into them and really trust your tire as you dig in. This is an area that I really kind of struggle with, so it's a good place to practice. And in the end, I managed a 3-minute and 10-second run. Good enough for 7th overall. I'm pretty happy with that. Nothing more to say. It felt quick. I may choose to regret this decision, but I'm not going all the way back down. I've still got some water. I feel good. I'm gonna go right to the top to outer limit. That way I don't waste any time playing around down there. If that goes good, I wanna get some B-roll shots and then we'll get out of here. I hope this video is not boring. Wow, that's bad. That is the worst I've ever done that. And so is that. think this is me regretting having not gone to eat something.
So, bad decisions of not eating, getting more water aside, I managed a 3-minute 51-second descent on outer limits, which looks like it puts me 6 seconds outside of the top 10. I think I can do better here, but my body and definitely my hands were not really loving it. I'd like to redo this a little fresher and see what we get.
I'm done. All right. 4 laps. 4 laps. That did my hands in pretty good. Turn Strava off. 2 hours and 41 minutes, 23K. We'll find out how we did. I kind of wish I had it came down and stopped. That system was working really good, like really good.
So now we know what our base is. I guess just next is working on the techniques, working on the confidence, maybe hitting up the pump track a little bit more. It's nice and close to the house. Riding a road bike from time to time to play that fitness game just a little bit, and then just spend a little bit more time on mountain bike trails. Not necessarily putting out huge efforts, but just trying to clean up the technique a little bit. Let me know what you would do if you had 18 days to prepare.